right. Welcome to Night Freaks. I'm pretty washed out. I'm looking like Ellen DeGeneres in her final season. You know what I'm talking about? Where they had that like floodlight to take away every crease in her face. Anyway, my name is Grady George. You know what? I almost considered pulling the plug again on Night Freaks, and I did not do it. Looks like we have a guy here, or a person named Straight Jacket. They're from the 518, and they're hated for life. That's exactly the type of person, because you know what? I feel like I'm hated for life too, sometimes. But anyway, I did not want to disappoint people. I got a lot of shit for canceling the last show, and I guess they're going to show me by not showing up tonight. Well, that's fine. Okay, because I know that my audience, they want to hold my feet to the fire. If I don't show up one night, then yeah, they're not going to come back. That's why I have to be consistent. This is why I'm always on Drizzle's ass about consistency with the podcast. And, you know, when I didn't show up on Monday, well, you know, exactly what happened is exactly what I keep telling Drizzle that is happening to our show. Oh, hey, Toxic, how you doing? Yes. I'm a internet defluencer now. That has been one of my big platforms. I haven't really gotten into it. I'm looking to defluence people. I don't want to influence people. I want you to see the smiling ass faces for what they are, snakes in the grass, Satan, if you will. You know, not Grady George. I don't want you to be like me. In fact, you know, I would tell you to get off my fucking dick if you came up in here acting like me. But, you know, thankfully, my audience does not do that. They are their own people. And that's what I'm trying to build. I want an audience of people that we're kind of like-minded, but we're not the same. What is battle cams? Well, battle cam, it wasn't plural. And you can look it up. It was a website that was formed by a billionaire named Alki David. And this guy is like a born troll, right? He loves going around pranking people, and he has a lot of money to make very extravagant pranks happen. And he was on JTV for a while, which later turned into Twitch. But he got banned because he liked to roll hard. He did a bit routinely called the Mangina, which is kind of like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. When he tucks his dick and balls, he's dancing around the room. Well, Alki, his specialty is the Mangina, where he does that. Only he's in a mansion doing it in his private office, right? So they kicked him off of JTV, so he goes fucking nuts. He decides he's going to just completely demolish JTV. He starts his own JTV, and it's called Battlecam. And honestly, it was very innovative. It was set up for you to battle your talent with other people. So when I first heard about it, you know, it was kind of like there's this, because he produced like albums and Hollywood films and shit like that, you know. So, you know, I heard, here's your chance to go, you know, this billionaire guy who produces entertainers sometimes. He's got this website. You can go there and, you know, display your talent. And it's set up for, it's kind of like a screen like this, but it's split. So there's two people up there. And, you know, you fight each other. When I first got there, it was just like one person. And then if they liked you, the crowd would vote you up. You get like 30 seconds. They would vote you up for so long, and then they would kick you off. And then they made it a split screen thing where, if you were like holding down the website, you would be on one side as the challengers come up on one side, and then once you're defeated, they'll move over to where you were at. So when I first got on there were actual people with talent. There were stand-up comics. There were people that wanted to be actors. There were musicians and stuff like that. They were like taking each other on. I didn't really have a talent, so very early on, I would just go up and just start telling them they sucked. So I was actually like even when Battle Cam first started, I was right there holding down what Battle Cam became right from the start because I didn't know. I would just make fun of the people because I didn't play an instrument, and I would start winning, and I would hold this, this Battle Cam down for like an hour straight, just mowing down, potential, contenders. So after a while, really everybody there, even after the wannabe Hollywood people left, everyone there was still very talented. I was able to meet Hollywood producers on there, and I myself was being broadcast throughout Los Angeles through the air as part of their television lineup. And I would go on there because they would also broadcast Maine, and I would go on there and I would completely hold it down. On Battle Cam, if you for every minute you held down the TV time, you got like $15 or something like that. They owed me like $15,000 just in like television time. And then they would take my show a lot and put it on. In fact, maybe like 2 months ago, a guy emailed me and he told me like when he was in high school, like him and his friends would like sleep over at each other's house and they would watch Battle Cam, and that, they would just go fucking nuts when they came on, So that felt good. And I had some other people tell me that grew up in the LA area that they had seen me on TV as well. So, it's always nice when people recognize you and for stuff like that, But anyway, beyond that, so at one point, because you had side rooms, right? So at one point, I decided that I wanted to do my own podcast. There was a live podcast on Battle Cam called Dave Live. But this guy at the time, he has something called a TriCaster that costs $25,000. And it's basically like a mobile production truck in a suitcase. You can like plop that open, plug your shit into it. So, he had video servers. He could go to videos and, hey, Mormo, how you doing, bro? I think I caught your watermelon mukbang the other day. So anyway, I wanted to do a podcast, and but I couldn't afford a TriCaster at the time. You know what I mean? So this is where people get twisted as far as my pioneering of live streaming goes, because I have claimed that I was the very first live streaming commentary podcast that involved drug use and conspiracy theory type, and not even beyond that, like just like there was kind of like, I think around 2016, 2017, there were a lot of shows where people were just like calling in, drinking, talking about fucked up weird shit that may or may not be true. But as far as I know, there were no other shows actually live streaming on the net at the time. There were some YouTube shows that people pre-recorded and uploaded. They didn't have live streaming on YouTube. And all there was JTV, Battle Cam, and I think another place called Vaughn Live. and there maybe have been some other places where you could connect your webcam, but with Battlecam, Alki gave me the encoder code or whatever. I forget what it was, but the key. And I was able to buy like 5 fucking computers and string them together. And then I got video servers, and I set them up in my spare bedroom. And I got a video switcher, like an actual switcher that was used from a fucking TV station. And I had all, dude, it was so rigged the fuck out, man. There was no XSplit, there was no StreamYard, there was nothing like this. I used Skype to take calls. I figured out how to put all this together in my bedroom. So now it's me, and people have mentioned Tom Green. Yeah, Tom Green, he had a TriCaster in his mansion. And he also did more of a normal talk show. There was no drinking, there was no commentary. There was Tosh.0. I don't think that was live streamed. I think that was on Comedy Central, and maybe they streamed it on, pre-recorded. And there was some, I'm not claiming to have created a commentary show. I'm just specifically saying that I'm probably the very first person that ever live streamed a podcast with no fucking TriCaster at all, and no XSplit or any of that fucking bullshit. So now I'm playing with the fucking big boys, right? So now I got people like Keemstar calling into my show because he sees what I'm fucking doing. Now he can easily go get some fucking program to do that now. But back then, what I was doing was fucking very much special. So I had a lot of people calling into my show. We were you had to be fucking drunk to be on my show. Therefore, you had to be at least 21 to call into my show. And we would, honestly, it was like a bunch of really crazy people getting into a room and then just pouring fucking booze on it. And just lighting a fucking match, because it was fucking out of control. I wish I had these copies of these shows, but I think to those that were there, they are legendary moments. Some people that went on to be some of the biggest names on the internet would call into my fucking show routinely. Well, I did invent those, Mormo, so, don't try to bust my bubble here. But, so no, I had a really good time on Battlecam. That's what it was, I had a really good job. I was on there for like 3 years. I had a really good job. I had, basically, I had a sense Battlecam was crumbling because it had turned into just like a bunch of body maimers. So, for instance, how people would be up there playing guitar, shredding like Jimi Hendrix, and I would just come up there and tell him he sucked and he won. So now I'm up there telling everybody they suck, and a guy comes up and he takes a fucking knife and he literally cuts his fucking nipples off, puts them in a fucking frying pan, fries them, and then fucking eats them as blood runs down his chest where his nipples used to be on both fucking sides. Okay, so now that's what so now it's just a bunch of people like cutting their fucking tongues in half. Alki paid for a transsexual person on the site to have their penis removed directly right on the cam. So we all watched as this person had, an actual surgery. This person that would come on Battlecam and talk to everybody all the fucking time. Now we're watching this person. Alki's paying to have their penis removed. It was fucking crazy, dude. Then on Easter, he paid a guy to come in and they nailed him to a cross and hung him up. So it started getting really like... it was just like, okay, yeah, now I see why maybe, like, yeah, I like to roll hard, but I'm just an entertainer, man. I'm not looking to like cut off my pinky to try to get the attention of a billion. And that's what some of these people were like. I have a movie script. I have a movie script. I'm a very talented writer. And he would go, I'll give you $10,000 to tattoo battlecam.com across the entirety of your face. And some guy that just had a dream of being like a screenwriter is right now guaranteed walking around with battlecam.com still across his face because people they think they can just go get that shit removed, but that shit's very expensive to have removed. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can get it removed, but it's kind of expensive. So I guarantee you these people are walking around with these battlecam.com tattoos across their fucking face still. Yeah, no problem, Wormo. I will, I guess I'll talk to you later. I am going to drop a link here if you want to call in before you leave or whatever. I am taking calls. I guess I'm just kind of got caught up talking about Battlecam. But if anybody wants to call, feel free to call in. But, so yeah, when I left, yeah, I didn't really like the site that much, as far as the content was going. Also, I had a really good job, and I know my job was scanning people's ID badges for their face recognition and trying to find anything on the net that they could use to basically blackmail you with. For instance, if you're a good employee and they find some weird shit, most likely you'll never hear about it, but if ever they want to just get rid of you just because they don't for any fucking reason other than you suck, they're going to whip these fucking, videos out on your ass. So I'm like, I don't really want I don't really want this shit out there. So I quit. I copyright strike most of my shit off the fucking internet. Yeah, I was getting, honestly, whenever you're live streaming like this and shit, people will harass you, so you're always getting harassment. But yeah, the fucking harassment sucks after a while, you're just like, fuck it. So I left. I had you couldn't just stream on YouTube back in the day, right? You had to have an invite link, So I knew somebody that actually, I could go stream on YouTube, and I think I did stream maybe once very early on YouTube, but I didn't really like YouTube because even then it was more, they had a lot of rules, like a lot more rules than Battlecam, and even though I am not somebody that was like, too overboard, I do curse a lot and I say fucked up, shit as jokes normally, but I'll state some kind. I have a very dry sense of humor, so occasionally I may, state some crazy fucking opinion that is not really in line with what you might know of me. So it's all a joke. I have a very dry sense of humor, but I realize some people, when they walk in on me and I'm saying shit like that, and it's the first time they've ever seen me, yeah, they're going to think that I probably, am actually thinking that way. So I don't even know, like, how to do my kind of jokes and not have people know that I'm not kidding around, you know what I mean? Because, like, I'll say stuff like, I don't say shit, like, really that crazy, but I'll, like, I don't know, something like I like to eat buttholes or something like that, right? I might make a joke that I like to eat buttholes or something. I do not like to eat buttholes, but then if somebody walks in on you at the right time for the rest of your life, every time you see this face, you're just going to see butthole eater. You know what I mean? And by the way, whether I have eaten a butthole or not, that is none of your business. So the reality doesn't even matter right off the bat. All right, take it easy. Go check out Mormo's movie premiere. And then later on, if you guys are bored, come back and check out the rest of my knife rakes here. I kind of feel like I just want to go to 3 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast and wait until the West Coast knife rakes come out. You know what I mean? Maybe I should just come back at 3 a.m. my time. Go check out Mormo's premiere. I wonder what he's premiering tonight. Because I know it's not old Curly Jaws Goes to Africa. So anyway, we've got some really good new Grady TV interviews up on the site. Now, I know Monday when I bailed on the show, I said I was going to, work hard on tonight's episode of Knife Rakes, and to be honest, I haven't, because at that time I started hearing it back from a lot of people about doing possible Grady TVs. Also, people that had told me they would do them in the past, started coming in, and they all have to do their interview all around the same time. So I don't know, literally from Monday till just like 8 hours ago, I didn't sleep at all. I've been interviewing people and I've been editing clips like non-fucking stop. And I think when I interviewed One Sonic, I was just, I had been awake like 38 hours at that point. And also the style of the interview was very weird. I had worked out with One Sonic that he could air the audio of the interview live for his viewers. And then I would get the video and audio for my clips and from here on out. And I think he erases every stream. I'm not sure if that stream is still up, but it was from earlier today. And it was very weird. At one point, a fan of his dropped a TTS, and it just kept saying I was a Fed for, because it was a joke, because I was asking him like real personal questions and shit. But I also think that kind of made Sonic kind of clam up a little bit, because he was kind of opening up a little bit, and then when he got that, he didn't want to talk about nothing, and too weird like that. Because I was talking to him about his life as a graffiti artist back when he was like a high school kid. He would go around tagging shit, and I was asking him, oh yeah, Straight Jack, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. He was outside. He wanted to do it outside. I think he's staying in a really cheap hotel, which is very expensive still. I mean, I think it's like $150 a night. And he told me that was the cheapest hotel he could find, and I was like, there's no way 150 is the cheapest in New York City. There's got to be some fucking... No, dude, I looked it up, man. I couldn't even find 150. So I don't know where this place he's living in for 150 a night in New York City's got to be the biggest roach infested fucking place. That's probably why he wanted to do it outside, because I was like, why don't you go back to your room and do this, But he wanted to do it outside. The wind was blowing. We're getting TTS messages calling me a Fed, and I also think that every time he would open up a little bit, I think he was reading his chat and they were making fun of him. So he would like pull back a little bit. And as far as him incriminating himself, yeah, he was talking about spray painting crimes as a teenager, like 15 fucking years ago. Like nobody gives a fuck, you know what I mean? Go ahead and wear that on your fucking t-shirt, man. Nobody gives a fuck. I just want a really good, compelling interview. And the fact of the matter is, One Sonic is he's got an extremely dark story, and that's really why I wanted to talk to him, because I watch One Sonic sometimes, and he'll sometimes go into this stuff about his time growing up in Oakland and things that went on with his parents and shit like that. So I knew he was open about it because he would talk about it. But I think him just getting to New York City, because the way I do my interviews, I just let people do what they want to do. You know what I mean? So I'll ask you a question, and if you want to answer in a funny way or a serious way, however you want to do, the interview subject is in full control of how the interview goes. I ahead of time I decide I'm not going to press or try to steer in any way. So, if they're answering the questions very seriously, it's going to be a very serious interview. I think Sonic chose not to really bring up a lot of the headier stuff. I think he's first time in New York City. He's trying to get some roots up there. I don't think he needs anything fucking with his mind. And really, that's not what Grady TV is about. We're not here to fuck with people's mind. I want to offer some content that shows you a different side of the live streamers, and I think we got a lot of that out of One Sonic. But he's a guy that I don't think I've really done the interview I would like to do with him even now. He's a guy that you might see pop up here again in the future. And the reason I don't try to press people is because, for that very reason, I would like One Sonic to enjoy working with me, and I don't want him to, think I want to fuck with him. My interest in his story is just that it's very compelling. There's a lot of people like him. There's a lot of people exactly like him thinking about getting into live streaming. He's a guy that's chosen to try to make his living off live streaming. He's traveling around, seemingly living off the money from the live streaming. He's getting by. He's not starving. I mean, he's in New York City. He's able to stay another day every fucking day. So obviously he is successful in some way. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I would hope to in the future maybe get with One Sonic again. I kind of had to cut the interview short. He was literally getting rained on, parade. That's why I don't know. Does he really have a room? Maybe he is. He says he's out at Washington Square Park or something like that. Maybe he's living in a tent, for all I know. Because to me, based on what I see him making, and then he's got to eat in New York City and all that other shit, I don't know how he's making it, but good luck to One Sonic. He is out there doing it, so kudos to him. Now, the other person I started an interview with is a guy named Billy the Fridge. He's a guy that was on Battlecam, that website I was talking about earlier, back in the day, and I met him there, and I've known him for over 10 years, and he's a guy that used to call into my old podcast back in the day, and excuse me. Yeah, in fact, I'll get into that a little bit later, if maybe remind me, but I pitched a show to Billy, you know what I mean? And I think he thinks I'm joking around, but it has to do with his character, Betty the Fridge. And basically, the idea is like a spilling tea type of show, where it's Betty the Fridge and a bunch of webcam girls just hot gossiping about all the internet people, I would watch that. And, if he wanted to do it, I would absolutely make it happen, because I think it would be some hot shit. Yeah, you remember when EBZ was all into Betty the Fridge? And then the next day, EBZ confronted Billy the Fridge, basically, for turning him on. It was really fucking weird. Just look up EBZ Billy the Fridge if you want to see that classic encounter. But yeah, so Billy's a guy that when he would he would call into my show, and like I said, you had to be drunk or doing some kind of drugs or something to actually be on my show. Because if you weren't and I didn't see it happening, I would fucking throw your ass right off the fucking show. And I don't think Billy was a big drinker, so like when he would drink on my show, I think he would get really fucking ripped, and he would start talking about his fucked up childhood, you know what I mean? And it was a pretty fucked up childhood, but I will fucking tell you this, like out of all the people I've interviewed, we don't have an exact pairing, but I mean, me and Billy, we have some very interesting parallels to our story, you know what I mean? And yes, I was a fat kid like him, but he was a much a fatter kid. Like the thing that interests me about Billy is his attitude. He's so happy, and he doesn't let anything get him down. And I'm a much darker person actually. Like my childhood trauma, like actually, I hate to say it, I don't like to admit that shit possibly lingers today. I think part of me, like just being very blunt and telling people to go fuck themselves at a hair trigger has a lot to do with that too. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a bad guy, but if I get any fucking sense that you're trying to fuck with me, eat my fucking dick, dude. And sometimes I'm misreading it. I'm telling a very nice person to eat my fucking dick that has nothing, I should not be telling to eat my dick. So I have things to work on. You know what I mean? Apparently they used to drink out of mess. That's a very good point. But so Billy would talk about his really fucked up childhood, and I always wanted to get more into it with him because really my interest in it is that Billy in every way had a more fucked up childhood than me. Maybe there was fucked up shit going on around me in the house, but I didn't live in a crack house. Maybe I was like 50 pounds overweight. Everybody called me a fat ass. I wasn't 500 pounds in sixth grade. You know what I mean? Like this guy's had everything that has happened to me in life has happened to him just like a little bit worse. And this guy just thrives. And then I started thinking Billy's a fake. There's no way he could be this happy and loves people because he generally seems to love people. That's where, like, I don't love people because people fucking used to, when I was a kid, like him would fucking terrorize me. So now I'm very sensitive. If I get any kind of like vibe that you're trying to make me, in fact, that's very much what happened with Lala as well. I'm not like that either. But I started feeling like she was fucking with me, trying to make me out to look like a dumbass in front of all these people. So I was just like, fuck you, It's not like I brought her on to do that, and maybe that was a bad reaction. But yeah, a lot of that comes from what I'm talking about here with Billy. You know what I mean? But Billy he loves people regardless. He takes people for, who they are. So I don't know. I always wanted to like really deep dive on his childhood and try to get him to break and admit that he hates fucking people and he wants to fucking see them fucking destroyed. But, I just couldn't do it. But he does put in a very good interview because he's so open and honest about everything, which I think Billy, like, out of all the people that has done a Grady TV, understands what I'm trying to go for because I think he just knows what I would fucking want. You know what I mean? So, and he delivered, and it's a really good interview. It's something that's unlike any Billy the Fridge content out there. And I'm glad to have it on my channel. I think it's something that's evergreen that, throughout the years, people can go back and watch and enjoy. So then, now the other Grady TV that just started is probably my favorite, Jewel Rancid. Now, I don't know Jewel at all. Now, my Drizzle Live sidekick, or actually, I'm his sidekick. That's his show. A Drizzle. I think he was actually put on by Attila and Jewel. I think they were the ones that first discovered him and put him on a webcam, and from there he went on to get invited on other RVs. And yeah, he was. So they kind of were responsible for getting Drizzle where he's at on IP2. And I was watching them back in the day. They were like probably my favorite web stream, and they're very controversial. A lot of people. I've already gotten why would you interview people that are like this or that, and I'm like, well, first of all, I asked Lala if her pussy stank, and they're still working with me. You know what I mean? Who am I to fucking judge? Like, I don't know. I just think the thing of it is, Jewel Rancid to me is just fucking hilarious. Okay, she really is. I guess she's a webcam girl and she does porn and stuff like that. I don't know her as that. I know her as somebody that when I see her on these IRL streams, she's always like top notch, hilarious. And she's trying to be funny too. It's not like I'm laughing at her. She's trying to be funny. You can tell. She's kind of playing dumb, but she's trying to be funny, and she's fucking funny. And the interview, and again, like every fucking streamer, that's another thing I'm trying to show with these Grady TVs, man. And I'll put myself in that category. We have all lived extremely fucked up lives leading to us just trying to get attention on the internet for some reason. I don't understand what it is. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I don't even think you could have a nice life and be a real live streamer. Yeah, you could probably pay for some fake fucking clout or something, but I mean, for some reason, the internet streamers, we all have issues, right? I'm not talking about one person or another, but so it's just like whatever. Jewel is really interesting, funny. She's had a really weird, messed up life. You almost like forget how young she is too, because she's like talking to me about shit that happened in high school, and I'm thinking, man, I've been talking to her for like an hour now. I can't even I could. This could probably go on another fucking hour, and then all of a sudden she's like, and then I'm here, and I'm like, what? You were just in high school, like, oh yeah, you're only like 22, 23 years old, even now, even after being around on the internet for a while. So she has a really crazy story to tell, and she does get into it with me. Again, there were a lot of stuff that I didn't bring up, like for instance, when I very first heard about Jewel, I was told that she was known as the fart porn queen of Discord. So apparently there were fart porn enthusiasts on Discord, and they considered her their queen. I don't even know if that's true. I have no idea if she even did fart porn. You know what I mean? I heard that, and I kind of think possibly she does have some kind of relationship with the fart porn industry. And I just wondered, that's something I've always been curious about, and I wish I had went into that a little deeper. Not just what her involvement, but just the fart porn industry. Is that actually very lucrative? Do a lot of people buy that stuff? I don't know. I'm very curious. So yeah, there's stuff. There's always stuff, and I've thought about her. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I have to get all the clips done. She may end up not liking something, hate my guts or something. I don't know. But she's one of those people I would like to bring on as a regular contributor, like Mini Manson, because I think I could just throw random current event topics at her, and it would just be fucking pure like 5 minutes of entertainment, just hearing her thoughts on it. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I've also got another interview coming up. I think Saturday, which is also the day I'm doing a Drizzle Live. So everything's just very jumbled up. I'm doing these live shows sprinkled in too. So it's a lot of work. By the way, I see, I'm getting a few more people watching. If you want to call in here, we can just like shoot the shit. Because I'm not that prepared. Because like what I'm trying to tell you guys was that I've been working on this Grady TV for like nonstop for like 2 days. And I've got a lot of editing to do the rest of the night. So I'm going to hang out here for, as long as I can. As long as I feel like it, I guess. And then I'll probably spend the rest of the whole entire night editing videos. And I haven't even done like I like to cut out little clips of Drizzle Live and post them, for people that don't watch the show, and they can get an idea of what the show is like. And I haven't even gotten into any of that. Yeah, I wanted to get Minnie back on the show. You know what I mean? And he did kind of like send me some signs today that maybe he was okay. Like I commented on a video of his and he liked it, and then he sent me, and there was something else I forget, and I thought, oh, maybe Minnie is not mad at me now. So I had wrote him a text on Instagram, and I told him I was like, look, if you really want to do, I think covers are lame, but if you really want to do a cover album, I mean, we're only going to do 100 copies. They'll be gone before we get the cease and desist letter. You know what I mean? Let's just do. And I also think we could make a claim that it is parody, that these covers are not meant to be taken seriously. And we could use that without having, but worst that could happen is we get a cease and desist on something we only have 100 copies of, which most likely, if we're going to sell any, whatever we were going to sell would already be gone by the time we got that letter. So, but anyway, he didn't write me back, so I don't know. But I'm really serious about Double G Records, and it's really not a record label. I want to do like high quality, like meme merch. You know what I mean? Like I might even have like an action figure made of someone. But it would have to be like, or like a bobblehead or something. It would have to be like very extremely high quality. Like so mind-blowingly high quality, you can't believe somebody would expend this energy on this internet person. You know what I mean? So I want to do stuff like that. So like Minnie Manson, he's a singer. So we put out a cassette or a vinyl of, I would only put out a cassette of like a covers. But if he had a real band and he did his own songs, I would put out a vinyl. And I would give it the actual, like Pink Floyd 50th anniversary box set fucking attention to detail, man. Like, it would be fucking like, or I would put out a very high quality cassette of his stuff as covers, But I think I'm moving on from there, and I think after I get done with Night Freaks, I'm going to start trying to negotiate for my first Double G release, because I am serious about doing it. And if the offer is always there to Minnie Manson, I will do something with him in the future if he wants to, but I have to have a secondary idea for my first release, and we'll see how that pans out. I don't know where we will go, but My offer is a business offer, and these guys are doing business, so um, hopefully we can work something out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a little tired. I barely got 6 hours sleep, and I actually set my alarm so I could get up to do Night Freak. So you guys that were giving me shit the last time, like John B, where's his fucking ass? John B's ass ain't even fucking here. I bet John B don't even fucking look at this, you know, ever. But I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I would like to thank John B anyway for getting me to get my ass in gear, and I'm glad that I did it because right now I'm almost 50 minutes in, and I was like, I didn't even feel like doing 3 minutes, man. So somehow a lot of times you just have to do it, you know, like Nike. You just do it. I just don't want to like do it and it's just boring and it fucking sucks, you know what I mean? And that's probably what's happening because I have no clips to go to, I have nothing to talk about, and that is because I've been working on Grady TV stuff the whole time. Now my next live show will be Saturday with Drizzle, with Extra Drizzle. And we're going to be discussing a lot of shit. I think it's going to be a very good show. Normally, when Drizzle misses a week, he tries to make up for it the next week and just goes way fucking overboard. Oh, that's okay, Adam. Me, as a wannabe web talent, I should be able to hold down a show by myself. You know what I mean? And if I can't, then I'm a pretender. I need to fucking move on, right? But like I said, I am a little tired and I'm not prepared. So if anybody wants to call in, I see we got a few more people watching. Right there in the chat there, you can see that's the link to call in. Um, I was going somewhere with the entirety of the first 50 minutes of the show. I was leading up to it like a fine crescendo. And then my Alzheimer's clicked in. And I forgot the whole entire point of the last 50 fucking minutes. It's either my Alzheimer's or possibly that gummy I took earlier. You know, that reminds me, I'm thinking about actually going into a, what do you call that? Where you like try to sell. There's this company here, man. I fucking love them. Not a sponsor right now. But they're called High on Nature. I think they're right out of Texas here. And these are Delta 8 sour belts. They will knock you on your ass. And there's actually a lot more than Delta 8 in here. They got THCP. These are mostly legal in the states where legal weed is happening. So, like, if you have legal weed, you probably wouldn't be allowed to buy this. But if you don't have legal weed, you'll most likely be able to buy this. You know what I mean? And the reason they make this stuff illegal in the legal states is purely for tax purposes. They put a big tax on weed, and technically this stuff is not weed. It's like some kind of, it's classified as a hemp product or something. So it doesn't get taxed, so they made it illegal in the legal states. But that shit is so good, man. You know, I suffer from anxiety. And to be honest with you, I don't really like smoking the flower, especially the CBD kind. It's very harsh. And so I try these gummies, and there's definitely a dosage you could take, you know what I mean? Of course, if you want to get blasted out of your mind, you just take a whole fucking strip. But if you just take like a quarter of a strip and you're somebody that sometimes has anxiety or something, it does a really good job. So that's why I'm thinking of, maybe getting into like some kind of sponsorship deal with them, because I do use the product. So at least if I could get a free product every once in a while, I mean, it'd be worth it, right? And I also believe in the product. I would invest in High on Nature if if they were on the stock. I swear to God, I would buy as many fucking shares as I could, because I've taken a lot of these gummies from these places, and there's like nothing of this quality out there. And I'm not even sure if people even know about this company. But anyway, I'm going to be doing some hardcore editing. I can't even talk. I'm going to be editing all night long. So I'm going to be up very, late. And I'm going to be also clipping some Drizzle Live excerpts. I'll be throwing that up there. I'm trying to incorporate more of the shorts into what I do. I'm not really sure how shorts work. Sometimes I do a short and it gets a lot of views. Sometimes I do a short and it's almost like it never actually posted or something, even though I can see it there. Like literally, like I've even watched it, and it's saying that, it only has like so many views. And I'm like, there's fucking no way. So I don't understand it. Somebody told me it was a great way to build, subscribers, because there's people with like ADD and they just sit there all day and they just keep swiping through these YouTube shorts. And if they like something within 5 seconds, they'll fucking subscribe and just keep fucking, going. So yeah, I'm looking for ways to grow my YouTube channel. I've also got the Discord, and I want to. I always forget to put that in the description of my stuff. So it's not there right now, but I'll go back after the show if you're watching this later, recorded, and I will put that in there. Yeah, it's really weird because the StreamYard, it does not allow me to do some things that I would like to do, and it really upsets me. I don't know why when I schedule a live, it doesn't give me an option to be able to put a thumbnail or tags or any of that shit. So I always go back afterwards and do it. I don't know. I might go back to the OBS. I don't know. I like the StreamYard in theory, but it doesn't really do what they tell you it can do. Like for instance, they got little servers you can play videos out of, but you can only put like a very short video in there. Sometimes it works out for what I want it for, and sometimes it doesn't. And then I have to. They've got a way you can put it in there where you play it off your browser or something. I don't know. It just bothers me. You know what I mean? It just bothers me. I gotta put my production slate on the StreamYard too. I don't have that to go to. But please, if you can, like and subscribe if you're seeing this somewhere. See, I forgot to put the Night Freaks logo up in the top right. I just put that in there. But see, I have that set up to automatically go in, but it doesn't go in. So obviously it's probably something that I'm doing. Oh wait. That's actually a new feature we have for Drizzle Live. I'm going every time Drizzle starts talking about how badass hardcore he is. I'm going to throw up this image of LD completely handling Drizzle. But don't tell him I said that. It's going to be a surprise. Let me see what else. I don't know. I'm pretty much exhausted. I was looking to like really try to power through a few hours tonight, but I haven't gotten any calls or anything, and that's fine. You don't have to call. Like I said, I want to be a guy that can just throw down 3 hours, but I'm very tired. I've been working on Gray TV, and you know I ain't lying because you can go watch those videos right now, and if you haven't, go ahead and watch all 3 of the videos I posted today. You know, if you're particularly freaky, go watch those David Allan Coe videos I remastered and threw up there. I'm particularly fond of the documentary, the short film, you know. And no, I'm not into country music. Like I'm into David Allan Coe, you know what I mean? It's pretty much, you know, Johnny Cash, I like some of his shit, but no, I'm not. If you think, oh, Grady's, you know, went fucking country, you know. I'm a little obsessed with this guy because I ran into him on the YouTube many years ago. His name's Jelly Roll. And there was a scam company. I think it was called Michael Knight Productions, right? And this guy put out a hip-hop country album. And he made like thousands of copies, and he bought 6 or 7 tour buses, and he put his face on the side, and he put the cover of the album, and he then hired teams of meth heads, and he would give them these tour buses, and they would. Oh, hey, Jewel, I didn't see you there. How you doing? Yeah, your interview is coming out very nicely. But yeah, they would hire these teams of meth heads, and they would put them in these tour buses to go around, and they would go to like backwoods towns where there's like no celebrities ever, and they would pretend to be broken down like they were going to the big city for the big Michael Knight show, and the whole townspeople would gather around, and these meth heads would sell copies of the albums to these dumbasses in these small hick towns. Well, this guy would go around doing this all the fucking time for years and years to where he actually developed quite a following in these small hick towns. And one of the guys I think that were into this dude was this Jelly Roll guy. He was fresh. He's like 500 pounds. He's fresh out of prison, and he does country rap. So I saw this guy and I was laughing my fucking ass off. And he's talking about how he's going to fucking make it. There's nobody that can stop him. And he's doing this country twanging rap music. And I actually, you know, I'll admit I used to troll him back in the fucking day. No, dude, this guy's selling out Toyota Center down here like 3 nights in a fucking row now. I mean, I can't fucking believe it. Look him up, Jelly Roll. Look this fucking guy up and tell me what is going on in 2023. I don't even know what's hot anymore. Glad to hear that, Jewel. I'm doing well too. I haven't slept. I just slept a little bit. I did your interview. I did Billy the Fridge interview. Then I did one Sonic interview back to back to back, and then I had to edit all those clips, you know. And then I took a break, and I had this live show scheduled for tonight. And I didn't come to the live show last time, and the people gave me shit, and then they don't even come tonight. You know what I mean? I guess they're protesting me because I didn't show up last week. Well, you know what? Those are no kind of fans, you know. I'm not going to say screw them, you know. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll come to their senses. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do a show anyway, you know. Oh, thank you, Jewel. You're very wild yourself, you know. So that really means something extra special. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go edit the rest of the night because I'm going to go ahead and get all of the editing done because I have the Drizzle Live coming up Saturday, and that's going to be that's going to be off the fucking charts, man, because I'm going to come out of the fucking cage like a bucking bull on Lala's fucking ass because she's out there smearing me, and I am the victim. I am the fucking victim, and I'll prove it. I got the receipts, honey. I've got the fucking receipts. To you? I don't think so. So don't go around. Grady George is a good producer. Grady George works well with people. I treat people with respect. You come on a Grady George show thinking you're going to make Grady George your content? No. We talked about what we were going to fucking do. You refused to do it. You tried to make me out like a punk-ass bitch in front of a bunch of fucking new viewers. And I had to let these people know exactly who they were dealing with. And you too, lady. Okay? Because when you come on a Grady George produced show, Grady George needs fucking content. And if you don't fucking give the content you said you're going to, then you become the fucking content, lady. Not me. You were going to make me the fucking content. So, no, I'm not the bad guy. I just literally, I'm a real live streamer. I have experience. I've had people like you try to fuck me in the past, and I know exactly what to do. You don't. You're something called a noob. Okay? Oh, you know Lala? Lala Looking Up? I think you've met her, actually. I've seen you on the RV with her, maybe. She has, like, this poofy hair, and she keeps saying that she's a size 6. Yeah, man, she's crazy. So, you know, it's the second time she's done this to me because I got into an argument with her one time. I had no interest in fighting with her. But she came on the show. She wanted to talk about a bunch of stuff. I took the time to sit there for hours and pull video clips and make graphics and all kinds of shit to support all of her claims. And then I was going to interview her about, I wasn't just going to take her word. I was actually researching everything she was saying. I was going to present, So then she gets on the show and she's like, I'm not doing that. You're trying to steal my clout. I can just go on my own show and do that. And I'm like, no, you could not present what I just sat here and fucking built for your dumb fucking ass all goddamn day. No, you're not going to do that fucking show out of your fucking car, lady. So she's talking bad. She's just dissing me on my own fucking show, which is Drizzle's show, but I produce it, right? Yeah, she's psychotic. See, what I did was after she was talking down to us and all this shit, I asked her, she said something about she doesn't like oral sex or something. And I said, is it because your pussy stinks? I imagine living in a car that gets pretty tart, And she's like, how dare you, say that, And that's her whole point now, that I'm some guy that talks to women like trash like that. But no, first of all, I meant to say that to her to fucking piss her off, okay? 2, I was raised by women. I learned how to talk about women from sitting in on endless women conversations about other women. So, yes, I have an ability to really sting your fucking ass because I really know what will piss you off. And I know that if you're a woman, at some point you have wondered if it stunk down there. And in fact, I will even go as far as saying you didn't have to wonder. You knew it stunk. So that's very triggering to any woman if you ask. So I knew what I was doing, okay? I was not trying to be like, oh yeah, sexy time. Let's talk about it's a bajayjay. No, I had no interest. I wanted to fucking piss her off and I wanted her to fucking get the fuck off the show, which she fucking did. And she goes around fucking acting like, I brought her on there to set her up and all that shit. No, she set me up. I have worked with people and I don't fuck with people at all, So she'll go around telling people, don't do an interview with him. He sets people up. He's a monster. She says I'm very sick and all this fucking shit. But the only reason I talked to her like that is like right before that, she was literally saying, I like to suck homeless black guys' dicks. Okay, so that is pretty vulgar in itself. And I even feel weird even saying that myself because somebody's probably going to clip that someday and it's going to come back to haunt me. See, this is why Jewel Rancid needs to be a regular contributor to Grady TV. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Yes, I am an internet defluencer. I'm not here to influence you. I do not want you to even act like me or ride my dick. I want you to be you, and I want to foster that in. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night because I'm just kind of hanging here by a thread. I will be back live Saturday with Drizzle Live, and that's going to be a very good show. Until then, we have interview segments every day with Jewel Rancid, Billy the Fridge, and One Sonic. So there's a lot going on here at GradyGeorge.com. Have a good night, Jewel. And I will see you next time. Thank you and have a good night.